subdivision of White Pine County, state of Nevada, as depicted here. And do I have to read each one?
No.
Okay.
As depicted in the agenda, pages 3, 4, and 5.
As depicted in the agenda items on page 3, 4, and 5. So, this is a public hearing. Is there any public comment on what the action is about to be taken? This is an action item, this is a public hearing, so we are recognizing anybody in the public that wants to comment. Anyone? George, you want to comment on this?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I find it ironic that on the previous item, you're gonna give it away, and here you're abandoning all the streets on already dedicated lots. Does not make sense. Not at all. Look at your map. I've got property I can't use. I see this, and then we're giving away other property. We're sending out mixed signals. Thank you.
Can we discuss that?
Yeah, you can discuss that, sure, absolutely.
Okay. Here's what happened back when. This has been going on for nearly 2 years, I know. The property owners, the state highway, needed to do a flood control plan through East Ely. This property, the flood would have interfered with property owned by the Carson family and the Shearer family. The Shearer family and the Carsons worked with us to not interfere with either, so the property the Shearers are going to be losing would be compensated with this property that the county has that we're abandoning. So we are doing a trade-off with the Shearers to allow the Public Works project for the flood control plan to go through unabated through both properties without interfering with either property owner. So, in the agreement, the Shearers, the county, we met with this several times, and the city also. We had property, I didn't know we know. It's a road that goes behind Nevada Northern that actually touches the Shearer property. So we took away their piece of property, and correct me if I'm wrong, and gave them this other piece to satisfy both the Carson family and the Shearer family's right to not lose their property for a public works. And we owned it, we weren't using it, so we've been through hearing after hearing. And that's exactly why we went ahead and give this piece of property to the Shearers in compensation for the piece of property they're abandoning for the flood control project to go between the Shearers property and the Carson property. And anybody can help me if I'm going wrong here. I just want to make sure I'm right. That is why this particular item is on the agenda today, to satisfy, finally to put to bed this particular item so we can move forward with some public works projects to help the citizens of Central Ely in flood insurance problems and everything else. It's all part of the big picture. So in order to get this done, you have to start with point A to get to point B. Point A is to satisfy the property owners, to not rob property owners of their property, but to utilize whatever the county can give. If the county can make a deal on this, on land we're not even using, I didn't even know we had it. So the Shearers are happy to get their property, from what I understand. The Carsons are happy. The project can eventually go forward because we've abandoned that. We're not interfering with either property owners. We're giving back a piece of property to a property owner that's losing a piece or could have lost a piece. Am I right or wrong here? Am I going okay?
No, you're pretty sure.
So that's why I'm trying to explain to the people. Now I'll take a comment, but did I explain it okay?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what you
Okay.
were saying.
So,
Actually, I think you did well. I just wanted to say that,
Okay, I want you to.
that not only is it Central Ely, it affects the drainage for downtown through the NDOT right away and all of the downtown businesses. It creates better drainage through that area. Number one. Number two, where these platted roads are being abandoned, if I'm not mistaken, BJ, every single parcel that sits within these these platted roadways belongs to either the Carson family or the Shear family.
They're all Shears.
They're all Shears. They're all to the Shear family, and so we're basically we're coming up with a right of way that works, and in trade for that right of way, we're abandoning streets where they own every single parcel anyhow.
That's fine, I didn't want them bent over, that's all,
That's,
okay?
I just
The
tried
state
to
could have
find-
put in a big pipeline, similar to what Southern Nevada wants to do, and they would have still been able to use their property.
Now, hopefully we explained it well.
This actually makes it easier for them to use their property, and I appreciate the Carsons, the Shears, for being so willing to work with us and being so patient for us to get this done, and we really do appreciate you.
Okay, so a little technical,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, I just wanted to, I think it's appropriate to go ahead and disclose that my late husband, Keith Carson, the Carson Family Trust, it was my late husband's cousin. I don't have anything to do with any of this, but in the past, I just think erring on the side of caution. I
Yeah.
mean, he's been gone since 2011, and I find I still have had
That's tough.
issues to where I still think it's appropriate that I disclose that.
Okay, and you don't own any of the property surrounding the
No, I
abandonment?
do not.
Okay, Brian, you were going
Thank
to
you.
give us the correction.
Yes, well, it's sort of a technicality, because the ink isn't dry on the city agreement with the Shears yet. So if there's gonna be a motion to approve this, I'd like it conditional on some things that I will enumerate for you. So if there's gonna be more discussion, we can have more discussion. If there's gonna be more public comment, there can be more public comment. But if anybody's ready to make a motion,
I move to approve with the conditions Brian says.
so contingent on a fully executed easement agreement between the Shears and the city, and potentially the Railroad Foundation, because they have property down there as well, creating a flood control ditch across the Shear property.
Second.
Motion by Travis and a second by Ian. Any further discussion? Anyone got it? This is public hearing. If someone's got something to say it now. If not, we are gonna go ahead and call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. So pass unanimous. There you go. Property done by the
Thank
county.
you, I appreciate you very much.
Thanks,
Yes.
guys.
So there's a second item related to their property. It's kind of buried. That's
Who's in that?
probably one of the longest single items I've ever put on the agenda, but
Is it?
it's on page 5.
I
It's
got it.
underneath the map. And so, perhaps BJ could explain this a little bit more. I think what we're trying to do here, and this is sort of a courtesy to the Shears, is sort of consolidate, I mean, as Commissioner Bybee stated, you know, there's kind of little islands down there right now, surrounded by what are, you know, county streets, essentially. So what we're trying to do is just consolidate that, so it's gonna be one big piece of property, and not a bunch of weird little things that you can fracture off and be sold, and then sort of find yourself on an island,
So
unfortunately.
for the record, I'm gonna read each of these parcel numbers.
I would, yep.
So we are now on page 5, item 2, and it's discussion for possible action. The approval of a parcel map for Robert Shearer and Charlene Stewart, being APN number 05-492-01, 05-492-02, 05-493-01, 05-493-02, 05-494-01, 05-494-02, 05-486-01, 05-485-01, 05-48502, 05-48401, 05-48402, 05-48101, 05-48201, 05-48202, 05-48301, and 05-483-02. Did I get those all right?
Did you repeat that, Richard?
So same thing, if there's gonna be a motion for action on this, I'd like to see it contingent on the same conditions that were placed in item 1, C1.
I'd move to approve with the same contingencies that we established in item C1.
Second.
Any other comment on it? You got something to add to this?
No, the other comment I have is the reason that we feel that we have to proceed in this fashion is because these are still lots and blocks out there. And you vacated the roads that got you to those lots and blocks. And so even though it's all one owner, we feel the only proper way to do it is to come revert us back to one large parcel so that many years down the road, you know, somebody couldn't come and sell parcel numbers 11, 12, and 13 of block 5 in the middle of nowhere that you have no legal access to. So this wipes out all of the lots and blocks, and so it's just one large parcel, so that, you know, we'll never landlock any parcel or anything else out there. So I think this is absolutely the proper way to go about doing it. And then the only other thing I'd like to say is just like to thank the Shears for all going through this. It's been kind of a headache, a lot of frustration going on. It takes a long time to work through all 3 entities that we're dealing with, but we're getting very close. The light's at the end of the tunnel, and so we're almost there. So I just want to thank them publicly for all that they've done.
Thank you.
And I want to just echo PJ that this is definitely the way to take care of all this.
Perfect. So we've heard from the engineer, the assessor, and all the comments have been made, so now I'm gonna look for a motion. I have a motion by Shane and a second by Lori to approve. All those, is there any other question by a commissioner? All those in
With
favor?
conditions, yeah.
With conditions
Yeah.
of the DA. Got that? Your motion, you
They
did
can
that?
My motion included all of
Yeah.
those conditions.
So, we're good. Okay, I'm gonna call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, pass unanimous. At this point, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. We're going to come back and we will be on page 5, 11 o'clock, but we'll have some other work. Okay, just take a 5-minute break.
I appreciate you guys.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachas reporting. The preceding program was sponsored by The Greek, Eady's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by KGTV, Channel 10 in Ely, Nevada.